sure.
Hello there. What were you asking me?
Hello there.
I looked down and there's just this little head.
What do you mean, little?
Oh, sorry, big head.
It's ginormous.
Oh, my timer's gone off, so I gave Kabaza 3 minutes and I set a timer for 3 minutes whilst playing very, very tense music.
It
And
was so hard.
You got it done in half the time, literally half the time, because the tense music was 1 minute 26 seconds. So, and then the timer went off. What were you going to ask me?
So I want to ask about a specific video, like a segment of the live, and that could be about. Well, I want to talk about it, about the next Webflow tease. They are teasing us as Webflow Conf is approaching, and I wanted to kind of like mix it with the comment section, looking at the comments from our videos.
Okay. What a melting pot of different creative things. You must be so creative.
What was that?
I don't know. What do you want to say? Go on, just let's do it, and we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, we'll get to it. We'll get to it. Not too fast.
You don't want to do it now.
In a minute. We want to do the intro. People of the internet, we gotta do the intro. Oh, I wasn't live on Instagram. Now I am.
Okay, so how do you want to do this intro?
Hello, Instagram. Hello there. Well, the intro is just going to be. This week we have news 1, 2, 3. No, I haven't written it. So.
Well, this week we're going to do things again a little bit differently. This is now live, by the way, just to dispel any of the rumors that might happen. We are live, so you can talk to us in the comments. We're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bits of news today. And maybe I can share my screen on our news bits. But we decided these are just too freaking boring, to be quite frank. So this is our notes. Oh, I can't. Hang on. Here we go. I've got multiple screens going on there. So we've got Stripe finalizes a $7 billion deal to acquire OpenRouter. OpenAI halt Astro, which is their new Fable model, after model nears critical cyber capabilities. OpenAI previews ultra-fast mode with 14 times speed powered by Cerebrus, so they've moved on to the Cerebrus architecture. ZAI unveils GLM 5.3, and DeepSeek open sources DeepSeek harness. And quite frankly, just decided they were just too friggin' boring. I'm not excited about any of those. However, if you wanted us to cover them, if you want us to dig in a little bit more, and there's more to it than, it may seem, then just drop us a comment. I have been Sam.
And I've been Kabarza. This is a week in AI design and dev.
Boom. we can freestyle.
Just reversed it. Yeah, pretty much. Okay, so let me. I'm preparing stuff.
So what we're going to do this week, as the title has maybe, suggested, we're just going to kind of go through some of the stuff we've been doing this week in terms of tools we've learned about, workflows we've been using, and it's probably going to be a bit shorter, but a lot more floaty, because you guys seem to like going through the tools that we use, because, our finger is on the pulse when it comes to AI shit, basically. So yeah, but I don't mind waiting, because we've got I don't know what's going on your Instagram, but we've got no one joining. We haven't had anyone join thus far. So
yeah, Instagram says hi back to you.
Hi back.
People on Instagram. So, well, I have the blog from Webflow already. I want to also. I have a funny thing. I will add it in a second. Actually, we also have that cool thing that we wanted to show. You know,
No.
the real time depth thing.
Yes, yes, we do. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
With a viral tweet.
Maybe I start with that. Yeah.
Sounds good.
Okay. Is it a white noise coming from you?
Yeah,
Something
it's my
like.
fan. I was hoping you couldn't hear it, but let me turn my fan off.
I guess you
Let me
can
just
remove it in
sweat. Let me
post.
just no. Let me just sweat. Right, is that better?
Yeah,
There we go.
it is better. Nice. Nice. Okay. Cool. So let's show this. And well, I don't want your screen there. Let's do this layout. All right. Unless you've been living under a rock, you probably have seen this video. It has almost 10 million views, and look what can you explain like what you see? Like what is so impressive about this video? I saw it and I was like, "Oh, holy shit, is this real time?" And then I read it. It is real time. This is happening real time. But what is this that I'm talking about? You know what that is? You want
Is that question? Sorry, is that question to
Yeah,
me?
yeah, 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 yeah. I want you to explain like what you're seeing
Well,
here, like or
what
like
I'm
why is it
seeing
so
it.
impressive?
Yeah, I mean, it's that light is not there, quite
Yeah,
frankly, and through some sort of process or whatever, it's able to determine not only the shadows, well, first, but the intensity of the light in the various areas in which it's being cast upon, including
yeah,
blocking it completely from his hand. So to do all this in real time is computationally very, very cool.
yeah. Not to mention, this is a 2D image. It's a video, but it's
Exactly,
at the end of the day,
exactly.
it's an image, and we are like casting a 3D light, a 3D feature actually into a 2D image. So we have to determine depth. We have to determine, okay, what is the closest to the camera? What is the furthest away from it? Kind of like a Z index. And then based on that, we can spread the light in a fake 3D space. Funnily enough, this is what I've been playing with, but for a different project I will show you in a second. But what's really crazy, this is done locally and in real time. So depth aware light injection in type GPU. We have covered it in a really like past video. I got a 448 by 448 monocolor depth model. I'll show you what that means. I will just show you in a second. Depth model down to 8 milliseconds on my M4 Pro across 250 dispatches. I'm not sure what this means actually. To be, I think this is like the
Yeah.
intensity or like the layers. I will show it and maybe we can determine what that means. Which is fast enough to use in real time since no, actually that's not the layers anyway. To use in real time, since the interface is written directly in type GPU, I can just feed the depth buffer straight into the lighting path. It never has to leave the GPU or go through any extra synchronization uh, or interrupt step. So this is really cool. And I just opened my Twitter and I think I saw like, yeah, like I saw another video just like that, which is really cool. Like, right. And the way it works, I can show you what I have, which is not real time and not for the same purpose, but similarly, you see, I have like this seemingly 3D um, model. It's not exactly 3D. it was one image. I did cut it in multiple pieces, but it's essentially a depth map. Well, multiple depth maps. Like the drink is also a different depth map. And where we have the light, the white, it's the closest to the camera, and dark is the further away from it. And based on that information, we can do all sorts of stuff. We can distribute light intensity. We can also create animations like what I have here to create this fake effect where we are manipulating the pixels that are closest to the camera more compared to the pixels that are more further away. So here you see the drink looks like it's moving because the pixels are closer to the camera and I'm moving them more compared to the other pixels, and it looks also like a bit 3D. It's a fake 3D. That's how it's done. And the way I'm getting this done is using this. So this is a model, a machine learning model that you can run locally, made by Apple. Depth
Increase
Pro,
the text.
it's called. Yes, good point. Depth Pro, made by Apple, and it's really good. It's insanely good. You feed it an image, and it gives you another image that is a depth map essentially, and you basically put these on top of one another. And frankly, I didn't do any of this. I was aware of this, and I just told my Claude, hey Fable, would you do this for me? So basically Fable did this. And what this guy has done is much more impressive. Not to compare, I'm just showing what I was like actually working on, and mine is, not nearly as impressive, especially given that this is run in real time and entirely on the GPU level. And yeah, it's really cool. People see impressive stuff, and yeah,
They clicked
it's
like.
really cool. Yeah.
Yeah, so like, because I don't think it's immediately obvious how the depth map translates to this light image, and that's the creative side, right? They've taken something as a view. I'm guessing that a majority of this parallax effect is actually more so GSAP moving the individual PNG files.
Well, I can turn that off.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. But then you're also you're having a layer of, what do you call it? You said the pixels are moving or whatever. So there's a secondary thing that's also using separate, what do you call it? Depth maps, right? So
Yeah.
the depth map isn't responsible for the parallax effect. Is that right?
The parallax is done in two ways, both with the depth map and with having the layers in separate layers.
You could never achieve the depth, the extent of that 3D though, just with a depth map. You could probably achieve a little bit, but not mental.
You're right.
And you've done a light thing as well. Is your mouse created a light thing?
Yes, I wanted to show that. I have another one, but I yet to run the servers because they are not running currently properly. Maybe I need a minute there because
then the light orb looks like it's being also, because the thing is with WebGL, it's just a canvas, and you're just plugging you're plugging layers and layers and layers into that canvas of effects, and they've plugged an orb in that is also registering or is looking at that depth map that is being real-time generated from the video input, I guess. So it's just like a clever use of the depth map. I wonder what the Apple thing, again, just to break it down even more, the Apple thing is simply the tool that's able to look at an image and understand its depth from a 2D image. Now, we put it through Higgsfield before the show, and it was able to do something with just one prompt. In theory, I think AI has come such a way where if you can get the AI to not change anything about the image, but to interpret the image as a depth map. I think you can also do the same thing with ChatGPT, probably.
I don't know how exact it would be, and actually I have the image now. I'm going to save them and show them while I'm also running the thing. So we have this image and we have, okay, so it doesn't look like the same to me exactly,
Your
but I
screen
might be,
is not being
I
shared,
know,
by the way.
I know,
Okay, cool. Cool.
I will do it in a second because I'm preparing them. Yeah. That's that, and
Because at the
let's
end of the
see.
day, you think of some of the features that Apple have on their cloud photos, is that you can actually just click, and using the AI, you can then move your phone and it will create that depth. I think the Vision Pro uses this as well, right? That's probably the technology they've just given out. I'm
Partially, probably, yes.
because oh, okay, so it's a GitHub repo. Maybe I can share my screen then, as what I'm
I'm
looking at.
ready. I'm ready to show this. Yeah.
Oh, okay, go on then, go for it. Go for it.
Yeah. So I have two things to show, and I'll try to. So regarding, let me regarding the question, how far can you push it without separating the layers? This is a good example. So I can definitely push it further, but you already see some artifacts here. It's hard to see it, but now you see it. If I get the further away, you begin to see some jagged corners because you cannot like cut the image and, yeah, under it you need to have something under it. In the example that I showed here, where I'm cutting things, I'm actually regenerating the image. So the sky is not, empty where the model exists. The sky has been regenerated after that.
Mm,
So all of these pieces are regenerated. In this example, this is one simple image, one Claude prompt saying, hey, use this Apple Depth Pro to generate a depth map and then animate based on a mouse hover interaction to create a 3D effect in addition to a light source reflecting on the image on
mm,
when the mouse moves over the image. So essentially something like that. And that's the result you see. It is already like giving a really nice vibe, but it's
mm.
nowhere near this depth, you know?
Yeah,
Um,
it's just a lot. Um,
So this is
cool.
just has way more depth. So that's just running it locally, Claude taking care of everything. All you need to know is that such a thing exists. Now the
Mm,
second thing would become, or like the second question is, can you do this without that model? Can you do this just by giving it to an AI? And this is one image, and I asked AI to create a depth map for it, and this is the depth map.
oh, nice.
Um, it does look nice, but it's not a
It's not
match.
perfect. I'm looking at
No,
those arches on either side as well.
yeah, and I
The
was I
arches
was
kind of
looking at
come in.
the trees and everything,
Yeah,
and I
yeah.
explicitly told it to not change anything, regenerate the
Mm,
same thing, but it's surprisingly good, but it's just not there. And
mm,
that image I can actually show that one here as well. Here I have it
mm,
with Apple Depth Pro generated and then animated. You see, it's really tricky. It's really nice. Yeah.
mm.
So
Before I just get into the nerdy stuff as well, I just want to shout out to everyone in the comments saying they love the content and they're subscribing. Cheers, guys. Appreciate that. You look like some seniors. I'm assuming some senior developers, not senior citizens. here is senior developers, and yeah, why not? Um, we want to make a community, but that's your responsibility, Kabaz. I said if you want to build a community, you take that. So hound him to get it started, and then
Yeah.
maybe we'll have a community. But yeah.
Yes, we should do one in Discord or something like that, so people can join and we can have a talk and we can do screen share and maybe even people can tell us what they try to build and
Mm,
we can help them. That
mm.
that would be really cool. If you are into that, shoot me a message anywhere that is convenient. Just shoot me a message. But yeah, so this was Depth Pro, and now we go off next to the
Well,
next one, right?
shall I just? I'll
Or
just
no,
do a
you
quick.
want no. Yeah,
I'll quickly show something. So it's just a GitHub repo. So this is what Claude would have done under the hood, which is go to this GitHub repo and clone it.
yes,
Create, because it's all done in Python, so it creates a little. It creates a little environment just to kind of make sure everything's encapsulated, and then it runs that to download the models. So I wonder, get pre-trained models will be a here it is. I wonder what the model is. Make directory checkpoint get ml site. So let's just copy that.
interesting. What's that?
Oh no, it's just downloading now. So this is actually the model. Okay, so this is a PT
How big
file.
is the model?
1.8 gig. Sorry, I can't zoom in
Okay,
anymore.
not
than
too
that.
bad.
1.8
Yeah, not too
gig.
bad.
So that's the model. Not too, yeah, 1.8. Again, it would be interesting to try and find, because there are some image specific models. I particularly like Qwen 3 as my image model, but all that to be said, 1.28 gig of AI on your machine, obviously. And how long did it? Do you know how long it took?
It's quite fast.
It's
It's
quite
quite
fast.
fast.
1.8
Yeah,
gig is
it's
not much.
yeah. I
You
think
can
it's
run that on.
done in matter of seconds, if like
Yeah.
not minutes. It's seconds. And I did talk to Claude about it. I was like, what configurations do I have? Like, can I add a prompt and be like, make the face to more bold, or like add more light, essentially make it more white so it looks closer. And Claude was like, no, you just feed it an image and it returns you an image. There is nothing you
Yeah.
configure. It has a specific range of pixels that it can support, so the image should not be too big or it will downscale it automatically. And that's it. That's it. I'm not sure if
Yeah.
it downscale it automatically or just Claude takes care of that. But yeah, I think it's like 1500 pixels, something like that.
Yeah. So once you've got the model, once you've downloaded everything, you just run depth pro run, and I is input, so that means input, and then you just point it to an image. So you just drag an image into your terminal, and then output, it will just export an image that's black or grey and white. Using that model. Or you can even build applications with it. Like, you can even work it into your application. So you could, in theory, you can build like a nice little UI, like a web app that you just drag an image in and it'll just pop it out. So this is what this is for. But of course,
100%.
2026, you just ask your agent to do all of this. But it's just nice to know, and I think it's helpful to understand what's going on from a code perspective. I think it just, I know we're asking agents everything, but it's also just nice to know that you're along for the ride. It's not this fucking big wolf that you're taking out for a walk, and it's just like dragging you down the street, and you don't know where you're going or what's going on. It's just nice to know what's happening. So pretty simple stuff there. Yeah, cool.
Yeah, I want to show also, this is how it looks.
Yeah.
Like the generations.
Yeah. Yeah, so they're alongside.
Uh,
Oh, what? Hang on.
This was Claude. This was Claude
okay.
asking. Yeah, this is more like how it is. So it's this is because I have them in separate layers. If I didn't, it would do it all in one go. And I have examples of just it being in one go. This is edited manually. And yeah, by the way, you can manually edit stuff to do whatever you're trying to do. And I was trying different edits to see like how it affects. And what surprised me, you cannot like edit it like this. This was me like just being very vague with the brush. No, you have to it's surprisingly exact. Like it's an actual like map of the image. So being vague with it completely ruins the experience. Like you notice it immediately. Oh, something is wrong with this. Like the 3D doesn't work. You have to be so freaking exact with it that
Yeah.
because you asked it prior to the show, can you do this manually? You could, but the
You
level
have to
of
be
detail
really good
that
at it.
there is in it, you don't appreciate it until you play with it and you notice. Like I did so many runs of like touching it with a brush, saving the image, loading it again, and noticing, oh no, that doesn't work like that. You cannot make the nose like pop up more by just adding more white to it. It has to be that perfect gradual
Sure.
color that it looks
Kudos.
natural.
Kudos to Apple. You know, they've
Yeah,
open
and it's
sourced it.
open
They've just
source.
given to it. Yeah.
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 So they are quite
All
sneaky.
right.
And again, this is probably something they've used. It's 1.8 gig, right? They probably use it on your you probably already got it on your phone. You know, it's able to if you've got a
Well, they do that. They do that all the time.
yeah
Did you know that?
yeah.
So, by the way, shout out! I took this image in London. You know, where we met.
Exactly. There we go. Yeah, exactly.
So that image has a depth, and that is not leaving my phone. This is happening on my phone. Apple looks at my images and thinks, okay, this one can have
Yeah.
depth.
So I'm not sure you can see it at the top. That little button.
Oh yeah, that too. Yeah.
So that's
That's
probably
also
it. That's probably it there. So now I can just twist that, and you can kind of see it doing it. I think I'm not too sure.
I
but
see
you
it. Yeah, it's less
Yeah, you
pronounced
can.
there,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So that's
So if you
probably
have
that's
an
probably that.
iPhone, if you have
It's a
an
little bit warm now.
iPhone, take a picture of your friend showing you the middle finger when the hand is extended, and then do this thing, and you will see it looks very 3D.
But I think it can only work on iPhone 15 upwards. Because my phone's warm now. Just behind there, we did a little bit of computation, and it's like I can feel the warmth.
Yeah, you gotta upgrade.
I'm
Apple
just reading
upgrade
this
coming up
right
in
now.
2-3 weeks.
I've used a very cool tool, and I think you'll like it. If you open a Discord, I share it with you. I need to go out now. Okay, but I subscribe. Thanks for the subscription.
Yeah,
Leave it in the comments if it's a cool tool. Leave
yeah.
it in the comments. You know, don't
Yeah.
don't
Send it
don't gatekeep.
anywhere you can. Yeah. Cool. Let's go to the next one. How should we tackle the Webflow thing? Let me think.
If there's
Actually,
any
it's
evidence that Webflow are behind, if you need any more evidence that Webflow have, dug their own grave. No, we can't be too harsh.
No, not about Stacki, but about the Webflow
Yes,
blog. Yeah.
a Webflow
So
blog.
yes, I will just talk about it
Okay.
in a second. So I want to think of like how I should do the intro. Okay. As we are approaching the Webflow Conf coming up in less than 2 weeks, Webflow again is trying to tease us with what's coming up. And it again looks very cool and very futuristic. And they are making all these like really interesting points into things that happened in the past. And this time, in 1987, Apple shipped something strange and gave it away free with every Macintosh. It was called HyperCard. Have you heard of this? Have you been even there in 1987?
Nine.
What? Okay. Built by Bill Atkinson, the same engineer who gave the world MacPaint. So with HyperCard, you could write programs like visually, something like that. And the whole idea here is what Apple is trying to say Webflow. What they are trying to say without me reading the entire blog right now for you is software should mold to your needs, not the other way around. And that says quite a lot. That's very much, to me, looks like this, what I just showed in the previous video, it looks very much like this to me, which is a UI that is molding to my needs. I can have pieces of this UI that I need, and then pieces that I don't need, they don't show up. I build the UI for my need, for the project that I have. And they are not mentioning DialKit, which is the tool that I just showed you that I'm using. They are not mentioning that, but it's surprisingly close to that reading through this. It looks like they are creating this tailor-made experience that they are talking about. And to me, it again feels like maybe Claude Design or even Cursor that have a UI. We'll show you something like what it could look like. Stacki made by Timothy Ricks will show you that. But yeah, in this video, we are just talking about Webflow and what they are teasing us with. And I think it's going to be this kind of like deterministic, but yet very free UI that you can install or like add to your project based on whatever you need. And that to me is quite exciting. And this is what they are trying to tell us, and we will know on September 1st.
Another Webflow teaser.
Yeah.
It'd be, yeah. I mean, we don't know what they're going to be dropping and how it's going to look, but the only thing I'll say is I know people don't like the look of Pinegrow and all the rest of it, but this is something I mentioned with Pinegrow, and that you you plug in a static website or I think it works with a lot of other tools now, Vue, React, and stuff like that. No idea, but the point is, it gives you all of the tools that you might need to like make edits and change things and whatever. And my complaint to it was, why show me? Like, I liked Webflow. I gave kudos to Webflow in this aspect. Like, why Webflow kind of hides things that you don't need. Let's say, for example, you've clicked on a child of an element that hasn't got display flex on it. Why show me, like, so Webflow will only show you flex child like settings or controls if it's a child of an element that is flex. Pinegrow showed you flex controls regardless, and I was like, why show me flex child controls if the parent isn't even a flex element?
Yeah.
Their responses, and I think you sit in two camps on this one. Their response was, and I get it, is people like to work in different ways. People's mind maps work in different ways. So some people like to work from the bottom up. They like to specify their children and then the parent. Some people like to work top down. They specify the flex and whatever. And I was like, that actually makes a lot of sense. Like the mental model of these people.
It does.
So to insist on what controls you will need assumes that you're happy with the mental model that Webflow are insisting upon you. So long story short is he's left the room. Long story short is it will be interesting to whether they can nail or get right. Maybe you want it to work in a certain way, so it'll just be interesting to see if they nail it. It's a bold decision.
Yes, but I think they need to give you a set of tools. This is what pretty much all of these vibe coding tools have failed at, a determined set of tools, because I think it matters that more than ever that your controls should mold into your work, but also they shouldn't limit you. So there should be something like this. I recently found this tool, and this works really well with my mental model, and I was building something similar. I'm going to continue build it because I was already doing it, and mine might be a bit different, but it's something like this. So this tool allows you to create your own artifacts and use their UI for the control, and the UI is not a fixed UI. And here they show you the comparison, but I'll show you the UI first. So they have this UI, you have like sliders, you have color select, and imagine depending on the component, the agent decides which one of these UIs should bind to which elements. And on your notes regarding the flex control things, it's not just for that. I think you can push that concept a level even further and decide for this component, the radius doesn't matter. So we don't even show controls for the radius, even though you could have it, it just doesn't matter. Or like for so many components, the padding and the margin and even the Z index, for example, these things don't matter. So why do you show those UI controls at all times? So this is kind of like the argument here, and you could fall in either camp, but I'm in the camp of showing what's relevant and mount the UI as you need it, but the UI should be determined. Like the design and the functionality of the UI should be has been determined before. And here you see the difference. Like if you just ask Claude or Codex, whatever, to build you an artifact, it gives you some UI controls. But sometimes more than, you see this quite often, the UI itself is buggy. So what you can do is to have at least the UI to be the kind of like to work in a deterministic way, so it's not buggy and it has a nice set of controls. And this is what exactly this tool does. And you can actually play with it. Toolcraft.sh. This is really cool. I love it. I think this is cool.
Yeah. I mean, you mentioned that the UI itself can be buggy. I personally have had no issues, and bearing in mind I've only done it once, asking Claude to generate a UI that then controls the effect or whatever it is, and then it in turn then generates a prompt that I give back to Claude, and then it makes the necessary changes based on what I've tweaked in the panel. How does this work? Does this give you a prompt to give back to your agent? Or does this change the underlying code?
This is something that you install. You install it, and this UI library comes up. Like the same way I have it here.
But yeah. So when you change something there, does it change the code, or does it give you a prompt to give to your agent to change the code?
Well, I guess that mostly depends on how you want to set it up, because you could bind this to the exact variables and save the variables.
That's what I mean. That's what I'm asking.
Yeah.
So
no, it's not by default.
Right now, so how do you take this?
There is a button. You copy the configuration. So this configuration is now copied, and I can give it to the agent, and the agent can do something with it. Something really cool about DialKit, one of the reasons I use it, is you can have versions. So I can create version 2, and in version 2, I do this. So I can have this version, and I can compare them and then copy the ones that I like. And this is really useful in many places. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I've not had much issue with just asking Claude to just generate a UI that allows me to change and then give me a prompt. But you've obviously used it more, and you find that having a dial kit or whatever, this craft one,
they have limitations. I would love to know if like Webflow goes this way. I have so much experience in having pain with all of these tools, to the point that I started creating my own tool. In short, I want these to be free. Like I want them to be like one for color, one for like graphs or something like this, and one for gradients, and not necessarily be too much intertwined, so I can use them however I want. Because sometimes I want to use them to edit a site, sometimes to edit a component, but sometimes to create a tool with it. Like I am sometimes using these to create a tool, and DialKit is not made for that. It actually is pretty shitty if I want to use this in a tool, because then it's just not made for that. It's hard to get rid of some parts of it, and then with updates you break stuff. So yeah, I had a lot of pain with that. And they have limitations as well. I don't want to glaze it nonstop, because these are all values that have a minimum and maximum. And a while back, I started to use this design to create, actually, I made it even to create some sliders where you can slide it past the minimum. You don't have a min and max number. You can have like a range, but you can pass that range as well. So you can go into the negatives by dragging it further, and it just stays there. So yeah, these have limitations. If you are not happy with the range that Claude has decided for you, let's say with damping or whatever, now you have to ask in another prompt. And this is where it gets slow and annoying, because now you are just prompting very little things. And you were in this whole game of creating a UI to not prompt, to have the control, but now you have to prompt the control. So you don't want to land there. And I feel like to not land in that prompt hell, you have to have a good set of UI controls that you don't need to be worried about. Yeah.
Cool. Nice.
But yeah, another blog, and we'll see what they will show us. Webflow 3.0.
Webflow 3.0. Next Webflow? Was there another Webflow one? Oh no, it wasn't. It was a Timothy Ricks one.
Yeah.
Tangentially related.
Actually,
Shall I
don't
do
know
mine?
how to.
Oh, go on.
You do yours. I'm thinking like how I should explain
Okay.
this. So you do yours. Yeah.
Okay. Right. Well, I'm going to try my best not to make this into something too boring. But recently, because it's going to start with story time. Recently, I had to. I feel like it was a bit of a mindset shift, which I feel very strongly that we need to adopt when it comes to using AI. And it combines traditional automation with AI, and ultimately, it comes down to how can we. If you're sat at if work can only get done when you're sat at your computer and you sat at your keyboard, I feel like you're doing the whole AI thing wrong. I think we need to adopt a mindset of well, what can I do, or what can I get it to do when I'm not at my keyboard? What can I get it to do maybe whilst I'm at my keyboard, but it's still able to kind of do stuff, without my involvement, basically. Automation, triggering that automation side. And it first came about when there was a bug that was happening on a website a bug happened on an app that I've built, and I couldn't figure out what it was, and it was a console error. And I thought to myself, how do I know what's happening in the console? Those are the hardest things, because I wasn't seeing it in any of the logs on the back end. It was happening only on the user's browser, in the user's whatever. Stumbled across an app. Someone's already built it. It's called Sentry. Claude was like, you can build Sentry. It will be quite easy, but this is already existing and it's free, so why not just use it? So I was like, okay, let's just fucking use it. And lo and behold, let me just show you Sentry. Add to stage. Sentry will literally just give me console errors, and I think it gives me background errors as well, but the point is it gives me console errors, and it was pretty cool. And then I thought to myself, well, how do maybe they've got some sort of integration where I can create an issue already in GitHub and then get Claude to work on that issue. So I don't have to actually, yes, I get the email, but Claude is already on the case based on these errors. It understands the error. And lo and behold, they have an API. I can plug into that API with a GitHub action, which I set up here. And multiple times a day, you just saw that it ran 3 minutes ago and it ran an hour ago. So multiple times a day, this just goes over to Sentry, sees if there's any errors, and then if it has, then it creates a GitHub issue and tags Claude in it. You can have it, you have to pay for it, mind. You can have it so that Convex will literally just create a GitHub issue straight away. So as soon as an error pops up, it creates a GitHub issue. That's quite nice, but that's a paid for feature. So I was like, well, I don't want to pay for it. So I was like, let's build. You can use the API for free. So let's just build something that just keeps plugging the API, keeps checking the API. So then that was the mindset shift of, oh wow, I can literally just have a self-healing website that literally just, I don't need to touch it. And as soon as an error comes in, Claude is already on the case and whatever. We'll get into, because you asked the question about, what did you say? Managed agents, did you say, or something like that? Or even just maybe it's the GitHub thing. Because I think you have to pay for it. I think you have to pay for that. And I'll get to how I solve that in a sec.
Okay.
But that insinuated this mindset shift. And then I took it a step further. And I was like, well, what about if a client emails me asking for a feature, or they're reporting a bug that for some reason I haven't picked up through Sentry? So then I built an NAN workflow which looks at all my emails here. It looks at all my emails and then asks Claude whether this is a I can see what you've done there, by the way. It's very off-putting. While you're moving around, this is exciting.
I will show it.
Stay tuned, because I understand.
I figured something.
So yeah, this is a local version of NAN, which means I can trigger Claude locally, and you'll see how this kind of starts to connect the dots when it comes to these GitHub issues where you have to pay for it. So ask Claude, is this a bug? Is this a feature? Or is this just an invoice for something I bought off Amazon? And it will if it's a bug or a feature, if it categorizes that, then it goes through this thing. It double checks whether they are a client of mine. It's an active project. So this looks in my active projects. Why can't I zoom in? There we go. So this is my accountancy software, which lists my active projects. Again, this is just, you don't need to do this, but this is just my little thing to verify it. And then it matches it with a GitHub repo and then creates the GitHub issue and then tells Claude to get to work on that GitHub issue and then marks the email as read. So this is, all this does is call a server that I've got running locally, that in turn calls Claude-P, which is programmatic usage of Claude, which runs all under my Max subscription. So to bring all that back together in this Sentry issue and the GitHub, this is all succeeding, but because there's no new issues. See, it's not even gone to the validate. Why can't I scroll down?
Interesting.
I can't scroll down, and I think this is because, oh, there we go. There it is. It's because this is a mermaid diagram like that. So I haven't actually seen the full pipeline, but I would guess that this crashes because if we go into pull requests and go into closed, maybe this is it here. I think this might be it. No, it's not. Don't worry about it. But I might have got an error. It tags Claude because and Claude will get to work on it, but you have to pay. You use your usage credits, which if you don't know anything about Claude, managed agents uses usage credits, and it's not a way. You're not utilizing your Claude Max subscription. So I think the long story short, or the lesson learned here is getting it running on your local machine allows you to utilize your Claude Max subscription. Combining NAN and asking it to make a little server goes back to what you were saying. If you know it's possible, just ask your agent to do it. You don't need to know the technicalities of what I've done. You don't need
Yes.
to know how I've done all of this or whatever. Knowing that this is the sequence of events, you get an email or you get a log from Sentry, you know that you can watch that from your local machine and trigger your local instance of Claude. Because in fact, whilst we were chatting, I actually got Claude to build my Sentry pipeline so I can import this now into N8N, and I've got that Sentry pipeline that creates a GitHub issue and all the rest of it. I can now do that from my local machine, so I've recreated it. So yeah, that's kind of the mindset shift is here for me.
Cool.
It's just trying to be more proactive, just trying to like, how can I get things done proactively, and to finish on, I've also got a daily routine that runs through my calendar and get started on everything. Just get started on that meeting that I've got with that person to pull in their information or do this or do that. You know, I let Claude just figure it out, but it starts with the calendar, blocked out calendar section, and it will just get started on stuff. Create a web page for me, a bit of research, this or that, you know.
Did you make that N8N yourself or just ask Claude with the MCP to make it?
No, I made it myself. I made the N8N myself.
Why? I haven't touched N8. I haven't touched N8N in a bit. I've been using it, but now I have the N8N MCP. I let Claude connect to cal.com MCP, to Stripe MCP, N8N MCP, and my Webflow MCP all at the same time, and be like, okay, that's the page, that's the call, that's the Stripe product, and that's the N8N
but the thing
automation
is
to send the invoices, and all in kind of like one conversation.
Yeah. So the reason why you would use N8N, the reason why you should use N8N is because, one, a lot of it you need to be deterministic. Well, first of all,
I understand that. I meant
AI,
like creating N8N.
Creating N8N. What do you mean by creating N8N?
Like creating the nodes and configuring the N8N workflow. Like the flow that you have in N8N, I'm not like adding.
Oh yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. This is what Claude's done here. So that JSON file, that I just import that into N8N, or just ask Claude to do it. So no, I didn't.
I do it with MCP.
Yeah. So I didn't add any. I didn't click on add node. No. Claude just did it all for me. I thought you meant installing N8N. That's what I thought.
No, but that's a super like important point that you are making, and I feel like a lot of people have to understand this, because they mix this Claude being able to do stuff, agentic work, with N8N, and as you said, N8N is deterministic, and that's like the good thing about it. Before agents came around with things like N8N, or at that time we had Integromat. That's what I started with, and Make.com and Zapier. If something like so even small would not match exactly, your whole flow would break. It would not run completely. But nowadays, because you have also agents in the nodes, you could ask agents to determine a yes or no, or like return a value, in my experience, so much more reliably compared to extract it from the data with like programmatically. So there is a really good mix of N8N and with agents. And if you are questioning if you need N8N in the first place, you should also consider the price, because running a Claude instance every time to do something is more quite often it's more expensive, token heavy, while N8N it's just faster and it just does it. It's like immediate.
So let me show this section of the workflow. There you go. So let's take, for example, so what I thought you were talking about is actually getting Claude, because you've got Claude schedules, right? You've got Claude schedules that can connect
Yeah.
via
No.
MCPs and
Yeah.
do all the rest of it, right? So take this. I can't point. Take this trigger as an example. So you've got the Claude schedule goes off and asks the email what emails are available, and then it gives back JSON or whatever, and then Claude's got to look through those and determine what is useful. In this case, this is just a server that constantly pounds Gmail. There's no tokens being used to do that. Next, you got like prepare emails. So there's some code here. This one. There's some code here. Maybe I can actually zoom in a little bit. That knows the shape of the JSON, runs through it, and just checks values. Instead of using tokens to do that, it's just code doing it. And exactly what you're talking about is like there's deterministic ways to do that. Claude can hallucinate. And then I chose classify with Claude. That's where I need that kind of like natural language sort of like thing,
Understanding.
Right? It needs to understand what they're saying, whether they're mentioning invoices or whatever, blah, blah, blah. So I'm choosing when to throw it to Claude. Otherwise, everything else is done with REST API, like calling free agent as an example. Just call the API, right? Tell me what contacts are there. You don't need to ask Claude to ask the API to again get the response, loop through it. Like no. So long story short, determinism is super important with automation, and you need to know when and where. Like I watched a video, I think it was a Theo video. He was saying that people were using AI to find the odd numbers in an array. And it's like
that's dumb.
That's crazy.
That's the dumbest thing I've heard.
Claude is probably smart enough to say, well, we don't need AI to do that. I've just written a JavaScript file that does that for you, right? So Claude is there to able to figure that shit out.
I'm worried when I hear things like this that people have no freaking idea how AI works. Like these systems are
they have no idea
hallucination machines.
They know, well, you're right, but they also don't know how systems work and how this, and it's fair play. That's why developers up until today and still today get paid a lot of money, because the mental model and the logic you need to apply to build systems, to build coding things is completely different to anything else. Like that's the hardest thing to figure out when it comes to coding. So it makes sense, it makes sense why they're doing it. But
for anyone listening, do the following. It's a fun test. Just whatever AI you are using, ask it to multiply two really big numbers with each other. Big numbers, like think of like two 9-digit, 8-digit numbers, multiply them. It will answer you, and the answer is surprisingly close. So it will always tell you something. Yeah, surprisingly close, but it's not correct. It will tell you something where the start is correct, the end numbers are correct, but the middle digits are incorrect. And the reason for that is the models, through their trainings, they have an understanding for math, like a feeling for it, actually, not an understanding. Let me correct myself. They have a feeling, but they don't understand it completely. So they make a guess, and that guess is really close, the start and the end of it, but the middle of it, because they never run an operation, it's not like a mathematical operation they run, it's just a guess. So the middle of it is always incorrect, given the number is big enough. Just test this and you will see how hallucinative these models are. So next time you won't ask it with your finances. At least if you do, then you have to understand, okay, you ask it in an environment where it has access to a calculator. So in Claude Code, for example, or Codex, it can literally use the terminal to spin up something or like do calculations. Yeah,
So
they
Suda
need
is
a tool
saying,
for
yeah.
yes, they need a tool for calculations, and I'm a bit surprised why they haven't added this because it doesn't look too complex to me. But I guess it
When
has
was the last time you
understand
did
in the
it?
middle.
It
Did
could be.
the last time? I think a month or two ago. Yeah.
Okay,
Let
fair
me
enough.
let me try. I'm opening. Actually, I'm going to open Claude Fable 5 on high, multiply,
This is
and I'm going to
thrilling
give it.
content. Whilst we wait for him to do that, just know that this is a bit different from our normal content. We normally just go through the news, but we thought we'd just chat about tools and things like that for this episode because the news has been pretty boring. Saying that, whilst you're on YouTube, give us a like and subscribe. That'll be good. But Meta have just released Meta's Pocket, TikTok style vibe coding app. Rolls out to all US users. What the heck is that? I'm going to share my screen whilst you do that. Meta brings Pocket, an app that lets you vibe code and share games to US users. This was yesterday. Meta's experimental vibe coding app, Pocket. Test market in Brazil allows people to generate small interactive games using AI, which are published to a scrollable feed. How bloody bizarre is that?
Mini games.
Mini games that you can just go, you flick through, and if you want to play it, I guess you start just playing with it. Otherwise, it's just, it's game heroin. How weird. I reckon they're going to get a lot of information on what... This is interesting because you know what Meta love? They love a bit of data collection. Are they collecting data on what people play games or what games engage people, and then they would basically just rip that off?
So I did a test and Claude came back with a correct answer, and now I'm asking if it's using operation, because that would be interesting. Operations. Last time I think it was maybe 2 months ago. It didn't do it correctly, or yeah.
So is the answer correct that you gave it then?
Yeah. The answer is correct. The number is not too big, but let
me. Can you see tool use in Claude? I'm just going to say multiply 764,542,862 by 3,842.8. I'm going to share my screen actually so you can see.
That would be. Muhammad is saying, Sadra is saying, and run workflows.
Right,
and this is Claude normal.
Yeah, it's Opus High.
I mean, it's not like Claude Code.
No, it's not Claude Code. So it doesn't show you like tool usage. And I have no idea whether this is correct, by the way.
I said, no, it pasted into your calculator or just like in your,
29. Oh, no, see? Hang on. That's not right.
Yeah, it's correct.
Oh, no, there it is. Sorry, I was
looking at that. It is correct. Yeah. It is correct. And it's really funny because I asked it. I said, did you use an actual calculator or like operations to give me this answer? And the answer is, honestly, I calculated them in my head. No computer involved. I broke them into steps mentally, like, the numbers, and then, okay. I guess now it can do math in its head, but we know how it works, and I don't know actually if it used a computer or not, or it has like a tool use. Do you? are they aware of the tools that they have access to? I don't mean like the third party tools, but like the integrated tools that they have.
I mean, ask. I mean, what tools do you have
I'm
access
asking.
to? Web search, search to past conversations. Yeah, it does.
Oh, it
A
says I
Linux
have. Yes, I.
sandbox.
Yeah, I have a code execution environment where I can run Bash and Python. That's what we need. Yeah,
Mine doesn't
so
say
it
it.
can do it. So it did it
Oh
also
no, there we
like on
go.
my phone. Yeah,
There we go.
I can use it anytime for calculations, data processing, or anything else that benefits from real computations.
There we go.
That answers us. And so basically, they do now have a calculation tool
Yeah,
based on this small test. So we
yeah.
can't tell for sure, but
It
yeah,
probably just
that's
writes
cool.
code, right? It probably writes a short
Yes,
Python script
exactly.
to do it.
I mean, like in all languages, you have operations, right? You can do it in JavaScript or anything else. You just write the operation. I remember like when we were doing C++, that's what we were doing in university. We were not doing any actual programming. Well, it's like that's debatable what's actual programming, but we were just converting math to code. Anyway, speaking of,
Wow.
let me show you. This
Oh,
is crazy. This is bonkers. I just found it online, and look at this. Look how crazy this is. Actually, let me show you the
did you
depth.
vibe code the
Look,
app, or is this the app that you just downloaded?
no, this is online. This is on
Oh, I
GitHub
see.
pages.
You're just on a website.
Yeah, this
Crazy.
is crazy, and I can also have. Look at this.
That's a normals
This
map.
Yeah, this is a normals map. This is creating kind of like a 3D map from a 2D image. This is bonkers that it's you know
So if
working
we
on
had
my computer.
if we had a 3D, can you change the camera? Can you zoom in on the camera or something? Basically, if we had a 3D camera, it would look like you were 3D, and we'd move the camera around. Oh,
What do you mean if?
so normals only you can only see normals if we could move the camera around, and you'd see a slight depth to your face.
Yeah, but we see this if I.
Well, you're able to sort of. No, that's. I guess you're filling in the blanks with your head with the colors, like you're
Okay, I
just whatever.
see.
But if
Yeah.
like a camera would just, and it's all fake though. It's all fake.
Yeah,
We use it in
that's
video
what makes
games.
it really cool that it's all fake. And the depth one, it's pretty accurate. I mean, by the way, this is a glass, and well, it's not like an actual lidar, right? It's an image, and I guess the
And
machine learning model
with and with
understands that.
yeah, and with let's talk about like cars, like autopilot on cars and stuff like that. It used to be that you need lidar, but actually I think Tesla has moved on to just cameras now, because this is what
Well, they
cameras are able
have
to do.
been. That they have been doing that. This has been their biggest bet from the
Oh, I
start.
see.
Very
They've never used
stubborn.
lidar.
Yeah, I think maybe they had a phase, but for the majority, for the biggest majority of their time, they have been this anti lidar company, saying that Elon Musk famously saying like you don't shoot laser out of your eyes when you drive, which is not really a good argument.
No,
Like
but we have
if
two
you
eyes,
could,
right?
well, not only that, but if you could shoot laser out of your eyes, you would, duh, like you would totally
Of
do it.
course.
If you could see in 3D with LiDAR, if you had the sensory for it, you would use it. The fact that we don't have it is not an argument for let's not put it on cars. The actual argument that they have been also very clear about, they are not shying away from saying it's expensive. LiDAR is expensive. It requires, I believe, also very precise, what's it called, like at the start, that the word is on tip of my tongue, like at the start you need not configuration, um,
Collab,
calibration. Yeah,
calibration.
you need, yes, you need very precise calibration, which compared to just like normal cameras, they don't need that level of calibration. And yeah, lidar just needs more computation, more sensors, big and bulky sensors, and all of that. And that's why Teslas suck at just parking. Like when you want to park near other cars, they don't even have like those proximity sensors that, does the beep 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 beep. It doesn't. By the way, we're continuing the show like this for the rest of the show. This is how I'm going to present. This is so fun. I don't know. This is, I guess I'm just 9 years old. This is just so fun.
I did want to mention something as well, like the aside from all of this, more about the like the automation stuff. Is have you used T3 code?
Yes, for quite some time.
Have you used? I mean, I don't know whether you've got because I've got.
Not recently,
I'm
but yeah.
pointing over here because there's that. I've actually got a laptop that I do a lot my remote work on. Like if I'm out and about, I was on a train last week and I was sending that code challenges so that because I was on a train, if I was going under, I'd want that to continue working and converse with Claude back and forward. T3 code seems to have made it really simple just to be able to select from a remote instance of a computer running T3 code and just fire it off. And I'd love them to bring that, because I'm a Claude Code fanboy. I'd love them to bring that into Claude Code, because right now I can only set off, tasks on the machine that I'm on. I suppose I could use dispatch. Well, no, I can't. I can't dispatch from one Mac to another Mac. Can only dispatch from my phone to a Mac. So there's that. But yeah, I know. I'm really trying to get into like how can I be as remote and versatile as possible, because I was in Bulgaria last week and I just had this idea, the email triage thing where someone asks me for a bug or a feature and then Claude gets to work on it. I literally had that idea whilst I was having a drink with a mate. I was on my phone, typed it out on dispatch, and it got to work on this machine here whilst I was in Bulgaria. I'm currently in London. And then half an hour later or however long, I checked back and it was built. And
That's really cool.
and all the rest of it. So you asked, like, did I do it manually? No, I did it from Bulgaria.
Yeah.
In London. So
yeah, it's really cool. I haven't used dispatch, by the way, for some time, since I'm using auto remote control. Like every instance that I open has auto remote control by default. So I don't have to even think about it. I check my phone, and if I have to leave, I just enter. And I'm doing renames a lot. Like nowadays, I'm renaming my. It's just so helpful to have a clear mind. We are doing so many things at the same time, and you don't notice, but until like later in the day, that you are so exhausted. And I noticed like a lot of context switching gets lost, or like. I guess I'm like getting tired by just recognizing what am I looking at, and just by renaming thing, that makes it easier for me to know, okay, this is the chat and this is the context, so I just continue.
Well, I mean, something I've got into using recently is projects. Because projects, again, they take a load of files. They have their own memory. They have their own. There's my outreach one. They have their own memory. They have their own everything, and their own skills. Even you can even scope a skill to them. So that means, and if I click in here, I can enter an old chat that's related to this project, this context, or I can just start a new chat. And again, I don't have to worry about like previous conversations somewhere else in Claude code. Or Claude, sorry. It's literally all contained within projects. So
That's cool.
I
Yeah.
would strongly recommend projects as well, because I agree with you. I'm sort of getting lost and thinking I'm having like 6 conversations, and for most of my day now, I'm not touching like the tools. I'm not touching websites. I'm using the MCPs. I'm building my own MCPs. I'm finding new MCPs just so I can just stay within Claude. So it's quite a profound shift that I've had the last few weeks, which is not only living inside of Claude, but also being proactive and getting it to do things before I'm even at my keyboard. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah,
So
exactly. I feel the same. Been doing the same. Everything
yeah.
is Claude.
So I think this AI thing is going to really take off. I think it's going to be big.
Tomorrow the bubble
And
bursts.
then yeah, I spoke to you soon now. Tomorrow the bubbles will burst, and then we're like, ah, shit.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
It's gonna burst.
It's interesting. Well, it will burst, but I don't think it will pop in the way that people expect it to. I think it
Yeah.
will just be, yeah, it could
People
be a
think like
price.
if it goes back, nothing is going back.
No,
Like no.
no, you just can't. It's so funny. I was chatting to someone, and they were like, "I don't really know much about AI, but I know it's bad." I'm like, "It's really interesting that you say it's bad." You know what like, and people is still. I was in the comment section of someone's video today, and they were like, "How do you feel?" It was someone actually. We maybe want to loop back to Grokbot at some point, but like. It was on a Grokbot video, because I'm still trying to understand what the fuck Grokbot is and why people want to pay $200 a month for it. But in the comments, obviously this was a Mac focused channel, so they don't really talk a lot about AI. So you get a lot of AI newbies or people who just don't know about AI in the comment section. And then someone in the comment section said, "How do you feel about ruining data centers or consuming loads of water or something like this?" And it's so funny because those are the conversations I feel like I've sort of been debunked at the moment. Like, don't get me wrong, the data center thing is a bit crazy. Like, people are still petitioning to not build data centers so close to like communities and stuff like that. But I thought the water thing was debunked in that once
It
you
was
once you
debunked,
have the
yeah.
water, it's just reused. You don't need
Circulating.
constant.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't need fresh water, as far as I understand. You don't need fresh
Even like
water all the time.
electricity is like debunked. Like pretty much everything is debunked. I've read reports on electricity long term becoming cheaper in those areas, even because there will be more to create.
Interesting.
So a
Sure.
lot of it is being debunked, and I'm like heavily like when people hate AI without understanding what they are talking about, I don't know, I feel
Yeah.
sorry for them, and I understand it. Like these fuckers, I have to say, like they make me curse, have been saying like
Kabaza,
it will
bite your
how
tongue.
could
Gosh,
you like you
pardon your
never
French.
so like
Just makes me want to
AI will
swear.
yeah AI will come for your job, and you can't. Engineering is dead. Designers are dead. Like everybody is dead. Everything is dead. Like they've been saying this for like 2-3 years, and people are hating this. But on the same note, you shared that YouTube video with me made with AI
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
earlier today. I didn't watch it. I I have like some notes. Should I show it? Like show a frame or two? So now that we are just touching on that, let me. So Sam shared this video with me, and it's an AI generated video. It has 7.4 million views in a month. That's crazy. That's like a really high number of views, especially for an AI. Some people might call it slop. I I watched a little bit of it, and then I was like, I didn't feel good about it. I felt like it's not cohesive in a way that I could connect with it. So It might be an AI thing, it might not be. I'm sure it will get good enough for that. But I have a different point. When you shared this with me and I started watching, I thought of some like Gen Z people, especially we know Gen Z hating AI, right? It's not just Gen Z, but they notoriously hate AI. And I was like, you see two types of Gen Z people. There is some that see this and see the tools that create this, and they hate it without any reasoning, and they just don't get anywhere close to it. And I feel like they will get stuck in the past, or like they, not in the past, but it just feels like they get stuck in their mind that
Yeah,
they
just
hate this thing so
yeah, they've
much
made their
that,
mind up for whatever
yeah, and
reason.
they closed up.
Yeah,
But I see other Gen Z or whatever, I would love to see like Gen Z's take on this and use it as a tool and create stories like never before, like a fresh mind coming to this and create new. I want to see that. Like they might create some stuff that I might have a hard time to connect with, but that's kind of like the way that I want it to be. I want the fresh minds to come and, like, not that we are old. Somebody just called us seniors.
yeah,
Not that we are old, but like there is always the younger generation with like fresh ideas, and I love to see that. I want to see the whole range, and I just feel sad that a big part of like that Gen Z doesn't see this opportunity, and they are like closing their mind off, and I find that like quite sad. Either way, it's not a, it's about this specific video. It just made me think about this. What was your question on this? You asked like how much did it do you think it cost to create this?
yeah.
And my estimate was probably 2k USD in terms of basically
But
scenes generated with C Dance 5 at 1080p with Higgsfield. I
well, I
went
reckon this
in.
is 4K to be honest. I think.
Yes, it is 4K, but I think you can easily just upscale afterwards because I
Well,
don't see why you would need 4K generation. Maybe, but yeah.
do me a favor though, and I've thought about this. I've thought about this today. Just unfurl or uncurl, whatever the description. Look at the look at the look at the team that was involved in creating this.
Interesting. I didn't look this up. So it's directed by a person, Zach London, and written by him, produced by him, but then three.
Gossip Goblin is
Uh,
a company, by the way. Fable Studio is a company, by the
I
way.
want to say like what Fable Studio. Yeah, okay. So there are companies. So there are voice cast, animation lead. Interesting. That's really interesting. So these are people who know their shit, I assume.
So when you say 2K, don't these people need salaries?
No, I
Don't these
meant
people?
the. Yeah, I meant
No, I
the
know that.
the
I know that.
tokens.
I know that. This is where I'm going with this, right? So
Yeah.
the top of the decision tree here is that we cannot determine what happened behind the scenes when it comes to AI generated content. Obviously, the quality in this speaks for itself, like the details, the consistency between the characters, and all the rest of it. Like to most people, you can see that this obviously took a lot of work. However, majority of stuff you really don't. And I was thinking today about writing, like, so apparently 80% of all posts go out on LinkedIn are AI written. It's
Thank you.
hard to determine what is a one shot and what is, like my AI content is written, my LinkedIn content is written by AI, but it's sourced from like a year or two's worth, or probably even 20 years worth of technological knowledge
Hmm.
and understanding code and this and that. It's also based on two
Fair.
hours of conversation with you. It's based on like the amount of work that's gone into, yes, what is essentially an AI generated post. But not only that, I've been writing a lot of posts recently with AI, but some of these posts take out, like, hours of conversation with the AI to sculpt that. So you might put that post through an AI like detection test and it says, yep, AI, and you might dismiss it because like, oh, it was fucking AI written. But the amount of effort that it took to get to that point is completely masked by the fact that it is, for all intents and purposes, AI written content.
Yeah.
And there's no way to distinguish, apart from if the really really shines, there's no way to distinguish that from someone who is lazily just put in one prompt to copy paste done, or someone like me, who 20 years worth of development knowledge, back and forward with the AI, trying to sculpt it, trying to shape it and this and that. There's no way to determine all this. So it's kind of like it upsets me. Well, it doesn't upset me, but you know what I mean. Like it's a bit hyperbolic, but it frustrates me almost that people just dismiss AI written content when there's just no way to determine whether it's good or bad. It doesn't change the fact that it does annoy me that people leverage this and one shot it and try and pass it off as their own knowledge and this and that. It still frustrates me, but it ultimately comes down to it's wrong to just dismiss something just because it's AI. The final result is AI. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree. Especially like there are like some really good AI like ads that I've seen. For example, the watch. There is one with a watch that is AI generated. I think a lot of people have seen that. But yeah, I agree. With this type of content, when I notice it's AI, it's not the only reason I like it. I felt off and I stopped watching. It started to bother me where the physics started to break. Like anywhere
Well,
that,
you say that. So very early on in the video, we're talking within the first 5 minutes, he chucks his jacket on the
yeah, I
coat.
noticed.
And I was like, the physics look amazing on that.
Yeah,
So how about you
yeah,
bring that up and show me where you think the physics is shit versus the physics is bad? The guy
yeah.
walks in, so he's starting to walk in
Let's
here.
see
So he's
where
got his
we're.
jacket off here. So he's got wearing white. His jacket is off. So we want to go back. He's still wearing white. So we want to go back even further. He comes in with a blue jacket on that he chucks on a rack. So I reckon around.
Yes,
Here we go. Here we go.
yeah.
So play from that.
This,
I
yeah.
thought it's hard to see because it's glitchy, but I thought the physics on that were really really good.
So the jacket moves. Yes, I noticed that actually. I specifically noticed that, and that was great. But what was not great, for example, when he walks the valley here, it does look a bit strange where how he puts his feet in, like
Connects with the
look at
floor.
here.
It's hard to
That to
see
me, yeah, that to
from the
me,
glitch.
yeah, that to me, it looks like the feet are switching, and this happens a lot with AI. Yeah, that I noticed, and it didn't work for me. And other
One of
places where he uses that hammer, the hammer, I don't feel the weight of the hammer in his hand. Like this looks like not a heavy hammer. Look, like you can't. Yeah, that doesn't work. The
that bit
hit
I
maybe,
noticed
but
that
this
doesn't
bit, yeah.
work. Well, if you go back even
So
further, he's looking up, he's aiming up, then he
this
throws
one,
it,
this part, yeah,
then he throws it in front of him, and then it's up again. So that was
yeah.
one thing that was. Well, put it this way, I would strongly. Well, I'm not sure. You don't
By
like
the
how.
yeah,
Oh, go on.
yeah. These happen in real movies as well if there are multiple shots, and these
Sure,
are not good
that's true.
movies, right?
It's true.
So I guess it's a matter of multiple generation, and as I mentioned, like 2K, if they get like 400 shots, for like end up using 120 of them. But I think this can easily cost more if they decide to regenerate again and again and again until like the angle is correct, right?
So the thing I was going to say is right. There's a TV show called Peep Show in the UK, or it's a UK based TV show. And when it first came out, and the whole concept is you're always in a first person view. It's the only show that's ever really done it is you're always looking from the perspective of someone. So if you and I were
Mm-hmm.
talking, it would literally be my eyes looking at you, you'd be facing me, and then the camera would switch of you, exactly facing me, right? When that first came out, I dismissed it because I was like, ugh, it was low quality. Cameras were massive back then, and it was
Mm-hmm.
really to get a camera in those positions, it was very, very difficult. As time went on, and it was about 9 seasons, cameras got really small and really good quality, and the quality of the show got better. But I dismissed it because it was poor quality, like video, camera, whatever. That TV show is legendary, mainly because of the writing and the idea and the concept and the character development, and there's so much more that goes into it. But I was focused on the technology side. I missed out on that because now I love it and I can see past the technology and laugh my head off at the jokes and the commentary and all the rest of it.
Yeah.
Bring it back to this video right now. If you watch it, if you watch it all the way through, the concept, like I got lost in the concept of this video. I got lost in the idea that this is a perfect use of AI because the characters are so out there and crazy yet realistic. Like if you were to create this in 3D, I think it would be really, really hard to create this in 3D. Like you look at this
Mm-hmm.
character on the right, the
Yeah, I
metal
know
that's
what you're
all in
saying. Yeah.
his eyes and whatever. So this is all that metal around his face and whatever, right?
Very realistic. Yeah.
This is really hard to both from a 3D perspective, like a CGI perspective, and a what do you call it? A live action perspective, like getting the makeup right and this and that. So that works. This for me, the surreal kind of slightly odd like character design and the whole design of this works really well for AI. But then finally, you watch the ending. There's a monologue at the end, which is fantastic, which brings all of this together because you're lost. You don't know what's happening. You don't quite understand. It's a bit, uncanny valley and something not quite
Mm-hmm.
right and whatever. And that's all intentional. Everything's intentional. And it all makes sense right at the end. And it's fantastic. So by
I will watch it.
so by dismissing the kind of the physics, or I don't like, and I'm not saying you're saying this, but if I don't watch AI content because of X, Y, and Z, you're missing out on so much where AI is, or where it's not AI. The storyline is not written by AI. The script is written by people, and the idea
That's a
and the
good
concept
point.
is all
Yeah.
written by people, right? So it's just the technical execution is AI. That's all that is. So
Yeah.
long story short, it's like, yeah, I've been there where I don't commit to something because I don't like some technical aspect of it, but ultimately there's a lot of human element that's gone into it, which is great. But it's
Well,
cool.
I guess it's convincing when you say, "Oh, watch it; it's worth it."
Yeah,
Which I
yeah,
think this is a huge point that a lot of people might miss. This is
yeah,
the cultural aspect of content.
yeah.
Like you watched Odyssey. I have watched it as well, and it, like the reason we all go watch it. It's not just because it's good. It's everybody talks about it, and everybody says it's good, and everybody like
Mm,
says like you should watch it, and it becomes a sensational thing that you have
mm,
to do. Like when you are like living in 2026, you gotta watch this. And same with Dune Part 3. Like I cannot wait for that movie too.
mm,
It's just
mm.
like much bigger than Odyssey for me, to be honest.
Yeah,
By
yeah.
the way, for the geeks there, they are connected. Like Dune is based on Odyssey. Not based on,
Mm,
but like they are descended. Like the house Atreides is direct descendant of King Agnamam. What is it? How do you pronounce it? I I don't know how to
in
pronounce it.
June.
Yeah, no, the king, the guy with the
Oh,
black suit in
oh, I don't know.
Odyssey.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
He's the grandfather of Paul
That's
from
cool. That's cool.
Dune. That's
Um,
what they say, and there is no like actual proof for it. So that's part of the story that they're, based on what I understand, that the fact that there is no actual proof for it, it's that their excuse for making that connection, why they are the righteous heir to the throne. Yeah.
A lot of sci-fi, Star Wars, Dune, um, a lot of these have their roots in like Greek mythology or just
Yeah.
Bible or whatever, So there's a lot of them are founded in that kind of like stuff. But yeah,
Yeah.
I love sci-fi. I just think it's just such an escape. I got lost in this because it was just like it was cool to live in a world which doesn't exist, and
Yeah.
but
I get the
escapism
idea.
is great.
We have a comment saying loving the conversation. Doing this in CGI would be absolutely hard and also would take years. Exactly. Like it would take years literally to learn all of that. Well, now you could come up with the idea, your imagination, create a cohesive story, amazing characters. I mean, we all love amazing characters, and then create a show. And the fact that I thought this would cost 2K, which I think is still possible to do for 2K or something around that, maybe a bit more, maybe less, but not too much more. Like a CGI creation like this in a studio, doing it the traditional way would cost a few hundred K minimum. No, probably like into the millions, right? I
Yeah.
find it difficult to do this for under a million or under 500K. I'm not sure actually, but it will probably cost that amount of money. But now a smaller team can create the same output or like similar to it.
Thing
It's
is, you can
cool,
use you can
enabling.
use you can use AI in two ways, really, and you can use AI as a cost saving measure. You can use it to get things done quicker, or you can use it as a leverage. Something to build upon. And I think like these guys are probably using it as a something to build upon, like the fact that they didn't say, "Oh, we're going to use AI because it's cheap." I think they thought AI allows us to like there's an artistic usage of AI. They wanted to use AI.
Yeah.
They chose to use AI. Whereas I think they might even, given they've got like an animation director and all the rest of it. I mean, I've not looked into the studio that actually what's it called? Gossip Goblin. Maybe they've got some real live action things. You just click on their profile. Maybe they do love 3D and they do use 3D, but they've chosen AI because from a creative standpoint, some
Yeah.
things can only be achieved or it's necessary that AI is the choice of medium, But what do I know?
Well,
So
either
what
way,
do these guys do?
yeah, super cool.
What do we have? What's next? What's
So
what's
we
next on the
have that
agenda?
last piece. I'm not sure if I can make it because I need to go in 10 minutes.
Oh, okay. What is it?
Yeah. We have the Stacki that we
Stacki.
wanted to show.
Oof, this was a big one too. Do you want to just see how far you get, and then we'll just.
Yeah. Yeah. Um,
Did you check
all
Spline
right.
MCP? No,
No,
I've not.
Spline is
But
dead to me. I'm sorry.
nah,
Like, why would I use Spline if I can just, use 3JS and create the model with
it's true.
the Blender MCP or
It's true.
whatever?
Spline's
Yeah.
an abstraction, and abstractions of kind of are dying a death.
Yeah. 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 Spline was never good for production, and right now 3JS just takes the win. So it seems like the universe is telling us to leave Webflow and Framer. Here, this week, we are coming with another tool that is such a strong, like it looks so good, and it really makes me want to leave Webflow. And it looks just like Webflow and Framer. It looks like if Webflow and Framer had a baby, it would be this Stacki, made by Timothy Ricks. So this is his tool. It's in beta. I've downloaded it and made a whole, like, actually two websites with it. Made well. Let Fable make two instances, and I will show you what it can do. So the whole idea is that you can use Astro, the framework Astro, which by the way Webflow also uses underneath, to build your website. And then you have this visual editor that is very much Webflow like, to edit things deterministically and visually, literally touching the code without touching the code. And I will just show you that. So here we have my agency website. I know it has bugs and whatnot because this is pretty much a one-time run.
Can you lower your screen resolution so we can see everything?
So basically zoom in.
Uh,
I
More.
did it. If I zoom in too much, it messes up with the.
Okay, cool. All right, that's cool. That's better.
Okay, it's fine. It messes with the.
Yeah.
I guess I can also show it like this. Now I spoiled it. So yes, it can show all the different breakpoints next to one another, and you have like this UI that is very much like Webflow. Even here, your layers. We have the pages. You can go to the blog page. You see it did make some mistakes creating it. But yeah, as I said, this is pretty much a one-time run, and it has nothing to do with the tool exactly. This is more like just Fable getting a Figma design and creating an Astro site, and now I can edit this Astro site visually. That's the point. You have CMS. You can change the. You have like the layout control, and as we talked about it earlier, like I can add stuff. I will show you that in a second as well. But yeah, the panel, just like the Webflow panel, and you can literally interact with it just like you would do with Webflow. And you have these components, you have the CSS classes, you have variables, and it all looks really good. And it's all code. It's literally touching the exact the the main source code that we have. And I will show you the other example. So you can,
And just to be clear, this is a Mac app that runs on your Mac. You download it,
yeah,
and this you open your Astro projects inside of this Mac app.
exactly, which I will show you with this one. This is another test project. I want to show it to you using this one because I already have it open in Cursor. So here we have the code inside of Cursor, and here we have the UI editor. So in the UI, we have this button, and we can change the size like from 6 to 7, 6, 7. Uh, no, no, and you have like the text that says "press me," and if I go here and say "press me now" and come here, you see it has changed. So this UI is literally reading the code and displaying the code. So this is a true window into the code and the way it is set up. And as you mentioned, here we have this style, as you mentioned prior to the video, we have this style for this button that I have just added. And here we can go to our global CSS. I can look at the button. You see it's 7.4 rems. I can say 7.9. And if I save this and come here, I notice it takes a second, but yeah, it loads in, and now the style has changed. So pretty much everything is code, and you have a visual editor. It has a CMS. I'm still trying to wrap my head around it completely because it's not exactly a one-to-one to Webflow. And then so here we basically have MD files, as you mentioned, but we can add collections. We can add what's it called? We
Fields.
fields to the collections, but now I can't. I know,
I
like,
thought we didn't figure that one out because that needs to be done through code.
Well, I know there's a UI for it, but it doesn't show up for whatever reason. Let me open the other project. I don't know how to also switch between projects, so I close it and then open it again, and now I can
It's
switch.
probably something they need to figure out how you're able to do that.
See, there
Beta,
is this
beta.
setting. There is this setting, and if I go to so in the collections, oh, I can't do it in the collections, but in here in general, I can add fields. So I can add a repeater item. So it is very early. I think this is, if I'm not mistaken, this is just a few weeks old, and I think it has really good concepts behind it. And let me show you one other thing. It has a vertical like adjustment slider, something that Webflow has been failing at giving us for ages. Like we had this with FinSuite extensions before that got depreciated. So it's really sad to think about the like today's tools for like visual editing, how slow they are moving. And I really hope that Webflow comes up with something maybe like this that is opinionated but not too much, and it allows me to do things with my agent, so not necessarily through Webflow, and I hope not even through an MCP, because that would be another abstraction layer in a way, but like directly, maybe like how it is now with Astro. This can be any Astro project, and
Yeah.
just for the ones who want to add things manually, yes, you can add components or like elements. You have all the HTML elements that you want. You can add them manually and edit them and do all the manual work. You can do a lot of the annoying things that Webflow doesn't let you do. You can do them here. You can add media queries. You have your variables, and all of this I let Claude set it up. I gave it a Figma design. I gave it the tools and the links and said, set up this project with this design with Stacki and with Astro and with Lumos. That's it. And it did this all in pretty much half an hour.
And then the only final thing to mention is that this obviously doesn't. It's not. Well, the flaw is that it's not really a multi-user experience. This thing. So
Not yet. Yeah.
each of your team will have to download their own version of Stacki, and to publish this, you push it up to Git, and you'll have to have some integration with your GitHub and let's say a Vercel account or something like that, and that'll need to be set up by you. So, and to get changes in, you have to pull down each other's code, whatever. This to me is 90% of what I think Webflow will release. This
Yeah.
free tool. Remember what I said? I've got my prediction of there's a free tool. You can publish to Webflow right now. This allows you to publish to GitHub, but I think they will their software will push it to get to Webflow's servers, which is just
Yeah.
Cloudflare, and so that will be the change here. And I mean, the CMS is obviously something that lives locally on, in the code or whatever. It's not like some sort of remote thing. So again, clients need a way to be able to edit the CMS, which they can't through all of this. So again, I think they will remove the localized CMS aspect, and it will be tuned to a remote CMS feature from Webflow, which I predict will be a paid for bolt on. Otherwise, you'll have to plug and play your own CMS or whatever from it. So
Yeah.
I think and it's using Astro under the hood, which is, well, it's using Astro, which Webflow have been a strong proponent of Astro for a little while. So I genuinely think this is what we're going to likely see.
Yeah.
Or
I agree. I just hope that the agentic part,
yes,
that they won't close it. So it's like I can use my own agent to build, and then use the Webflow UI and whatever
Hmm.
environment that they set up to
Yeah.
interact with the build. And then I can bring in my own CMS, or I don't mind using the Webflow CMS and pay for it if it's not limited. Like right now, seeing what other CMSs can do, Webflow CMS to me is very limited.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's something from 2019 at best, if not
Yeah.
16.
Yeah.
That like I want to be able to define components, feed those components with data dynamically, and also be able to repeat them as many times as I want and drag and drop them in a page wherever I want. That's not what Webflow templates allow us. So
Well,
I
yeah.
want
I
that. Yeah.
I hope that they'll improve on that, and I guess the most people will. And you mentioned the agent thing. I think again, yeah, that'll be another panel here to agentically work with Webflow's AI, and which you pay a $30 a month subscription for if you want to use Webflow, and it will be all
Yeah.
integrated into the app. However, you can still bring your own agent. You can still work with the raw Astro project under the hood
Yeah.
of Webflow. I call it Webflow build, but like, yeah, I think this is
If
darn close.
not, if not, I I hate to say this actually, but I think it will be really hard to make a point for Webflow for many clients, including even the enterprise, because these tools will get better in static.
Mm,
This and probably like many more tools that I haven't covered or even seen, they will get better at all that infrastructure side of things.
mm,
That's how they
mm,
are starting, but they will get eventually good at letting you have users and permissions. I mean, InStatic has all of that, right?
yeah.
So
Yeah, and then just to again help people compartmentalize this tool and how it differs. In Static's a good one because in Static you can you host remotely, and everyone can log in and change the same website at the same time. Whereas this one again, it works through Git, so you're bound by the Git push, Git pull. Um, Branches and that whole workflow, so it's slightly more disjointed in that respect. It's a slightly more
yeah, and it's
difficult to kind of
less
work around.
opinionated, I believe. Even though it's based on Astro, it's still less opinionated than in
What's that
static, I
in
believe.
static?
Like I don't know what's in static based on, but I feel like with in static you have um,
Well, I
more
don't think.
opinionated build.
Yeah, I don't think. I have to look into it, but I don't think you're building like a React project under the hood. I think in static is still having its own translation layer like Webflow. It's just easier to work with. I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, yeah, you just got to. I think people dive into these tools and they don't. They might not know all of the use cases. So I'm just trying to paint a picture that this is a very
Yeah,
strappy or whatever it's called is a very solo effort. This becomes difficult to work with teams if you don't know Git, because you can see the
yeah,
publish button at the top right is publish to Git or create a merge request or something with your changes. So you need all of that set up for this to be a team effort or even a solo effort. To be fair,
yeah.
or even a solo effort. But yeah,
But yeah, I
cool.
feel like this is getting close. I feel like I can build my site maybe here and push it over the weekend. I don't have time
I
this
think you'd be
weekend, but
better off. I think you're better off using in static. I don't think this is the tool for you, especially if you've got team members. I don't know.
I
I
feel
don't know.
like yeah. Um I don't know. I Yeah, in static was also quite nice. The UI does bother me, to be honest. Like this UI is just much nicer than in static. In static, if you are watching, like this is mixing Framer. It's 90% Webflow, and I think it's a little bit of
Yeah.
Framer. It's
If you
just much
squint, it's
nicer.
basically Webflow, isn't it?
Yeah, if you squint, it is Webflow. I believe like you can learn so much from this UI. Webflow has nailed their controls when it comes to CSS, and I think you should not like try to recreate this in a new way, just use whatever Webflow has. And even like the concepts of pages versus like the navigator, I think this just makes so much sense in terms of UX, to have your pages here, navigation, components, assets, CMS, even though Webflow has CMS somewhere else now, which I agree with. Like the CMS could be somewhere else because it's data, it's not the same as like these things. But yeah, very cool.
Nice.
Timothy,
well,
good job.
yeah,
Keep it
well
up.
done, mate. Yeah, I mean, it's funny because he did write that post and say like he wants to use Webflow and this and that. This doesn't look like he would use Webflow. This looks like he would just go straight to using this. You know, he built the tool that he was sick to death, so he built his own tool.
Yeah.
So I doubt we would be seeing much of him from a Webflow standpoint.
So go try it out. It's open source. It's free. It's on beta. Just download it and then tell Claude, hey, in this folder, create whatever site that you want. Play with it. Give Timothy feedback. Share it on social. We want to push this type of work. Same with Instatic. We really want to push this type of work so people see it and you support the creators. And with that, these tools will get better and we will benefit from them. So
nice. Well, that's all we got time for. That's everything. Everything will be linked. All the tools we use will be down below in the description. I'll try and, well, when I get around to actually doing it, as well as timestamps and things like that. Everything you've seen will hopefully be released as shorts or clips even on the YouTube. So make sure you go subscribe there. And that's kind of everything. I've been Sam.
I wanted to say it. You've been.
I'm taking that away from you now. I'm taking that away from you.
Keep on
Keep on vibing, babies.